Hey everybody, and welcome to the special of Mercury transiting in Aquarius, which happens about once a year, unless Mercury goes into retrograde, and it can happen about twice a year. So this year, Mercury is staying in Aquarius from the 20th of February right up until the 7th of March, and that's when Mercury goes into Pisces. So first I'm just going to talk about the summary of the positives, negatives, psychological meanings, and the best use of transiting Mercury in Aquarius. So positively, it can bring a fresh perspective. We can be more innovative in our thinking and our intellectual kind of brilliance. We can become little geniuses as we think outside of the box and tap into our freedom-seeking ways and just be unique and express ourselves, not really caring what others think, while also respecting their boundaries as well. Negatively, Mercury in Aquarius can make us more detached and aloof in our communications, so we may lack emotional warmth, feel more distance from those we're normally close to, and just have more difficulty in expressing our feelings. Psychologically, we can be mentally flexible, more curious, and be able to grasp more complex concepts more quickly. It promotes more independent thinking and creates a desire for more sort of intellectual, scientific or philosophical or even spiritual stimulation. The best use of this energy is to connect with people who you have things in common with, you want to be around. Try not to waste your time and engage in innovative and progressive ideas. It supports all sorts of group communication work as well, so good for maybe reaching group targets and objectives. And the best use also is to just allow yourself to explore new perspectives, engage with others, try and open your mind, even though people may have different beliefs than you right now. It's also good for charitable humanitarian communication, so writing to politicians or community groups and all that is really favoured, or there may be more of a community or national or even global talk around some kind of organisation that serves others, whether for the positive or negative as well. So now I'm going to talk about that exact aspects that Mercury's making when it goes into Aquarius this year, and how they affect this year's Mercury's transit in the constellation of Aquarius. So the moon makes a sextile square to Mercury, so this is a separating orb as well at 1.48 degrees, but still is influencing the whole 3 weeks or there's about that Mercury's in Aquarius. So it just helps us to really home in on ourselves, but it does bring tension. It highlights that there can be more than usual imbalance between our emotions and communication, which can lead to moments where our thoughts and feelings aren't aligned. So this can cause potential misunderstandings or miscommunications. Some people may go out of their way to lie and to hold facts, but because of this energy we can just kind of have a bit of conflict. So just try and be as honest as you can, and just make sure you double check facts and just watch out for any sort of deception from other parts as well. The sun also makes a conjunction to Mercury, so this increases our ability to express ourselves effectively. So positively, the sun's conjunction to Mercury counteracts the moon sextile squares to Mercury's energy, so it allows us to overcome those misunderstandings. It can bring a strong alignment between our words and identity. It's applying energy at 6.39 degree orb, even though it's not at its tightest, but it's still because it's applying, it still infuses us with confidence, clarity and charisma. So it helps us to just be more humorous, get our points across, be more funny. So good for public speaking and all that kind of things, and overcoming troubles in relationships, as I said. Mercury also makes a square to Uranus, so this brings unpredictability. So people, again, can be more reckless in their speech because it makes us more rebellious and non-conformist. There can be sudden changes and disruptions in our communication and thinking processes. So one minute we're kind of like the geniuses I said at the beginning, we've just got everything down, we're reciting poetry or scientific facts, and the next minute our minds can go blank. So just watch out for that if you are doing presentations, and just be gentle with yourself. Just get your bearings again if you do lose your chain of thoughts, and just allow yourself to make mistakes. It can make us more restless as well, so just make sure you don't just do things or say things that hurt others, and sometimes you can't help it because of this energy. Just apologise if need be, and just give grace to others and allow people to make mistakes as well, and just try and tap into the innovation and individuality, especially in your communication expression, that this aspect of Mercury square Uranus brings. And just watch out for the moments of tension and disagreement that this energy brings and amplifies as well. There's also a stellium at the time of Mercury going into Aquarius this year. So Venus, Mars and Pluto are all in the constellation of Capricorn, making a stellium. And the stellium in astrology is 3 or more planets or points that are closely positioned together in the same zodiac sign or degree, orb or house, and this can create a potent concentration of energy because you've got quite a few planets in the same sort of zodiac sign or within the degree orbs of each other, so this can influence us more deeply. So the stellium between Venus, Mars and Pluto in Capricorn can help us with our communication style and give us more determination and ambition and depth in whatever it is we're working on. But again, it can help us be superficial and gossip at this time and cause tension in our relationships, or just people just saying things just to wind people up and get a reaction in purpose. So watch out for that. But ultimately, this stellium at its best allows us to focus on long-term goals and be strategic in our planning and the way we go about navigating the next 3 weeks or so. We may find ourselves expressing ideas and opinions with a strong sense of purpose, and this can attract the attention and respect of others. It can also bring more practicality and discipline to our thinking processes and enabling us to approach problems and challenges with a more pragmatic sort of mindset. But on the negative end, the influence of Venus in Capricorn on Mercury's transit in Aquarius can make us more reserved in expressing our emotions and forming connections or repairing connections with others, and we may just prioritise stability and work and material security over emotional expression at this time, and this can make us come across as cold and detached. And with Aquarius already bringing the detachedness, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn in some train of thoughts, and this is the astrology I subscribe to, co-rules Aquarius as well. So it's kind of like amplifying the fact that people can be more detached in their communications. Just watch out for that. You may feel triggered over this time, and just know that people may not be doing intentionally, so ask the right questions. And of course, if people are purposely winding you up and questioning your boundaries, you must say it, but rather be assertive with your saying, but not aggressive, because this energy, and with Mars in Capricorn as well, can sort of like bring impatience and make us more kind of angry. So we have to be mindful of not being too pussy or dominating in our interactions with others as well. And Pluto's presence, Pluto represents power and control, so this may bring a need for more depth in our discussions, and this can give some people the ick. It can, you just want everything to have meaning right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm into all of that, but we just have to make sure that we say this or seek this from people that can give us. So at this time, people may not be able to emotionally meet our need for more depth, and this can lead to separations. But the best use of this energy is to uncover hidden truths, but just watch out for power struggles and the manipulation in communication it can trigger, as I said before, and just try and be more self-reflective and mindful as you navigate this period. So yeah, that's the end of the summary version of Mercury transiting in Aquarius and what it means. Now, if you want to know more about the practical, astrological, political, symbolic, emotional meanings and the karmic explanations and what it means for our committed and hookup and family relationships in more depth, and careers and the best things for professionals and creatives to do when Mercury is transiting in Aquarius, then listen on, yeah. So, astrologically speaking, this transit stimulates an intellectual curiosity, like a caffeine-infused cup of coffee. Our minds can become a playground of ideas. We can be more ready to explore new concepts and challenge conventional thinking, as I said in the summary. So, think of it like upgrading your mental software and embracing the power of unconventional knowledge. It can be like finally realising that there's more to life than just the same old boring routine. Practically, it can be as if Mercury in Aquarius hands you a pair of rose-coloured tinted glasses. Suddenly you see solutions to problems that seemed impossible before. Your practical thinking can take on more of a futuristic twist, and you're able to come up with more innovative approaches that others might never have considered, or you would never have considered. So just good for practically working on side hustles, continuing, coming up with new strategies. On the worldly level, it can be sort of like a game changer. It can be like finding a hidden treasure chest filled with money and opportunities. Some of you may stumble upon a brilliant business idea or receive unexpected financial gains. You may feel like you've ducking gold in the stock market or won on a lottery ticket, even though you may only have found 5 cents or 5 pence, as you say in the UK. So, but ultimately, it can just bring a more of a sense of abundance that comes into our life, and we can't help but feel a little extra sparkle within ourselves. Some of us will see it in our bank account. Politically, Mercury in Aquarius helps us to kind of bring a sort of fresh perspective to the way that we look at politics. Leaders may sort of like advocate for more social change. Their ideas and opinions can carry more weight. Right now, even you, an individual, can have more weight if you start up your own organisation or you're already in one. So good for all kinds of social activism, communications, and thinking outside of the box and challenging the status quo, the traditions, conformity, and the way that the systems are. And sort of like it can be like being handed a megaphone and having your voice heard on a global scale. So yeah, it's just great for putting yourself out there. You can think, oh, my time's gone, too many people are doing my niche or whatever, but always realise that there's always potential people waiting out there for you to get in contact with you. So on a personal level, embrace your uniqueness and express yourself authentically. Your thoughts and words can become a catalyst for change that can spark conversations that have the potential to reshape communities, your family, your relationship, or even society on a greater level. It can be like some of us are being given the gift of eloquence and effortlessly weaving together words that can ignite inspiration in people around us, so people can listen to us more. We can be highly influential in relationships. It encourages us to be more open-minded and connect with others on a more of an intellectual level, or with people have more things in common. So whether this thing be like in science or technology or gaming or spirituality, meaningful connections. People can be drawn to individuals who engage in thought-provoking sort of like viewpoints and opinions, and they can challenge us to expand our perspective right now. And it can also bring a sense of togetherness, camaraderie, as we share ideals with others and open up to exploring new territories of knowledge and pushing the boundaries of intellectual growth together. Spiritually, this transit invites us to tap into our intuition and trust the whispers of the universe. We may find ourselves drawn to mystical teachings and esoteric, hidden sort of knowledge, occult knowledge that unveils hidden truths. It's a time to expand your spiritual awareness and connect with the higher realms, whatever that means to you. Symbolically, it represents breaking free from traditional thought patterns and expectations of others and embracing innovative ideas and who you truly are as an individual, your shadow and your light and your weaknesses and your strengths. It can be like having a breath of fresh air for your mind, inviting you to think outside the box and explore new perspectives. It encourages us to question societal norms and challenge tradition, status quo, the current way of doing things, and make way for new ways of doing things, and having revolutionary fresh ideas and being more progressive, forward thinking in your thoughts and behaviours. Creatively, it can spark our imagination and enthuses our creative plans with a sort of futuristic flair. We may find ourselves inspired by technology, science or fiction, or just unconventional avant-garde forms of expression. It's a time to embrace your own creativity and let it soar, climb to new heights. It can be like the universe has handed you a cosmic paintbrush to create masterpieces of insight and understanding. So this can be through your work or just within you as well. Emotionally, as I said, because this energy brings a sense of detachment and objectivity to our feelings, we may find ourselves more willing and able to observe our emotions from more of an objective standpoint, allowing us to gain valuable insights into our behaviour patterns and our thought patterns and ways of relating to ourselves and others, and the way we relate to ourselves. Just watch your mind, what thoughts constantly go through your head, what gets your attention, are the positive or the negative? Do they put you down? Do they remind you of past mistakes? Do they tell you, you'll never make it? What are these emotions, feelings and psychological sort of like wounds and trauma sort of building within you or have built within you in terms of thought forms, and it basically being able to look at ourselves without judgment and more detached and objective and honest way can bring more of a sense of freedom as we're more honest about ourselves and others about who we are, and it just helps us to sort of like embrace a more expansive mindset, one where we allow ourselves to let go of our emotional baggage and unforgiveness and resentment and self-criticism, but also open ourselves up to self-honesty, and where we are able to see our shadow traits and admit we have weaknesses and strengths, and not to feel guilt for them, but just to take the time over a lifetime to start working on improving them. So karmically, as I said, Aquarius is an intellectual and innovative sign. Also, it's known for its kind of charitable humanitarianism, sort of scientific, forward-thinking, technological, electric kind of traits, and also bringing unexpected events to our lives and making us crave more freedom. Mercury is the planet of communication and thought, and also everything intellectual and sort of journeys and stuff like that as well, and day-to-day interactions. So these qualities can be highlighted as Mercury transits through Aquarius. It brings to our mind lifetimes where we may have focused on gaining knowledge and using our analytical, logical skills, or we may even have used our intellect for personal gain, or where we fail to use our intellect and our own freedom and thoughts, and where we may have conformed, and subconsciously this can happen, or consciously we can become aware of these lifetimes, or we can just be made aware of the ways that we don't use our intellect, or we overuse our intellect this lifetime, where we may use it to gain materially or social status and stuff like that, getting real on the reasons why we may abuse communication, or ways that we may neglect, becoming efficient in our communication skills as well. Also, past lives where we may have been involved in social causes and worked to bring about progressive change, or maybe lifetimes where we got in the way of social change may come to our mind as well. Ultimately, what this transit really reminds us to do and wants us to do is to use our communication skills and ideas to benefit others, not only ourselves, promoting equality and creating a sense of community. It pushes us to share our intellectual insights with others, engage in meaningful conversations that challenge the status quo and promote societal progress. So ultimately, Mercury in Aquarius on the karmic level encourages us to tap into our rebellious spirit and embrace our unique perspectives, but also to think about ways we can improve society as a whole and not just for ourselves, and just try and be more vocal in the need for social change in the right ways, and to also bring about change in our own life and think about why we may abuse our personal power or intellect or any other resource we have in terms of communication sort of skills, because we're dealing with Mercury in Aquarius here, how we abuse it and how we use it for personal gain and how we can stop doing so, getting to the root causes of why we feel the need to do that. And also, if we don't use our communication skills effectively, if we don't use our intellect effectively, why don't we do this as well? So now I'm just going to talk more about how family, friendship and co-worker relationships, as well as committed and hookups, are sort of like affected when Mercury is in Aquarius. So in terms of family relationships, it encourages a deeper understanding between family members, it encourages us to be more open-minded, have more intellectual discussions, and so good for kind of like, setting house rules and stuff like that. But because it can make us feel more detached and we can prioritize our logic over emotions, it can cause problems in family relationships. People may ignore people more if you spend time as a family normal eating or sharing entertainment together. This may not happen during this period. People may be more focused on their education and careers and stuff like that. In terms of friendship, it can stimulate more innovative ideas between friends, but it can also make us more colder because we can be more focused on our kind of like intellectual connection rather than emotional. So we just have to try and remember this, and if we do feel a bit detached, explain to our friends why we may be and why we may not be able to be there for them right now, or trying to rethink your friendship boundaries and stuff like that. Co-workers can use this energy to work together, come up with fresh ideas on how to make the workplace more effective, encourages sharing of innovative ideas. But negatively, again, it brings detachment to our relationships, and this can cause misunderstandings as well. Committed relationships, again, we want to be more intellectually stimulated or spiritually stimulated, or just have a deeper connection within them. We can exchange ideas more freely in our relationships, but we can become too fixated on logic once again and neglect emotions. This can lead to a lack of intimacy and cause trouble in our relationships. So we just need to make sure we're honest of any need of space, and just try and be a bit warmer if you can, or at least, as I said, just allow anyone in your relationship why you may be a bit distant, and just give people the same kind of grace and understanding if they need some space away from you at this time as well. But working together, even if you're both doing your work in the same room, this could help rather than being in separate rooms and stuff like that. In terms of hookup relationships, again, we want a connection, whether it be an intellectual one. We want to feel like there's more of a bond between us rather than mindless physical attractions and stuff like that. So in hookups, people may want something a bit more deeper, or they're not wanting commitment but still wanting it to be more than, oh, you're good looking, I'm good looking sort of thing. But negatively, we can become too detached in hookups and neglect any sort of emotional bonding, and it can create a superficial experience. And even if before one or both partners want this, they may not want this right now. And also just watch out for being detached in your communication and making sure that you still respect each other's boundaries and getting consent as well, because this detached energy can just make us not ask the right questions or not even tap into our hookup partner's needs right now. In terms of career development, as I said, it allows us to embrace new ideas and unconventional approaches, and we can have more of a forward-thinking sort of attitude. Spiritually, it makes us more curious and open to new perspectives. It can allow us to sort of like explore spiritual paths that are different to the ones that we've been following so far. We may want to explore different philosophies, belief systems as well, or viewpoints. We could have been someone who was really scientific, and now we want to, be technological and stuff like that. We may just do a 180. Personally, it helps us to, think outside of the box, think of new solutions to old problems, and express ourselves more authentically. And we may want to, spend our time with friends and doing hobbies and things that truly reflect our individuality and creative spirit, as well as who we really are. Educationally, it brings a desire to expand our intellectual horizons. This is a favourable time for engaging in rational discussions or scientific or technological ones, debates and stuff, really in depth, kind of those conversations that can go on for ages. Also, it pushes us to question certain things in education. Why a course is taught certain ways, you may also tap into wanting to just learn yourself now, being more self-taught as well, and just embrace a different way to learning things as well. In terms of the best things to do, creatives, as I said, explore unconventional techniques, and it's a good period to brainstorm, collaborate with like-minded individuals, and seek inspiration from maybe avant-garde, Google it, different futuristic kind of creatives and artistic people as well. Professionals can use this to find unconventional solutions to workplace problems right now, are also good for networking, attending conferences and workshops, exploring different viewpoints, as well as attending places where people are expressing these different viewpoints and cutting edge ideas, and staying up to date sort of with industry trends. So good for your own personal research to give you sort of the edge in your professions as well. Entrepreneurs can use this energy to take risks and be more creative, or launch innovative projects or services. Also, maybe you may consider partnering with people who have similar ideas to you, so you can collaborate and speed up your progress, and it can be mutual as well, and it's best that it's mutual rather than trying to use others and stuff. And also good energy to seek guidance from mentors or experts in your fields, or give advice if you're already an expert in your field, and explore just different ways of doing things. Alternative healers may incorporate new innovative techniques into their healing practices, especially technological and scientific ones. Also, it wants us to experiment with our healing methods, especially our self-healing methods as well, and also just attend workshops or seminars, especially those that have new and innovative healing techniques. Lovers use this energy to sort of share ideas and explore new interests in your couples. This can deepen your connection by engaging in thought-provoking conversations and just trying new things together and embracing each other's unique perspectives. This can help you just be more closer, willing to learn from one another, and this can just strengthen the bond between us right now. So yeah, that's the end of this long in-depth overview of what to do and the sort of energies that Mercury brings when it's transiting in Aquarius. So take care and see you next time.